Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Naruto become king of succubus with lots of women? If you like to hear uncensored version of this and other stories, then I'll give you link of my Patreon. Go support and follow the King of the Fallen for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. It was the night of the Sucuubi sealing, and right before Minato Namikaze dies, he says only one thing to his son. "I'm sorry, Naruto. I never intended for this to happen, please forgive me." What nobody else knew was what happened after the sealing before Minato was eaten by the Shinigami. It was a conversation that would forever change the life of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. "You should know something, Minato. Your son now has 2 demons sealed into him," said the Shinigami, chuckling. "What? But I only sealed the Sucuubi into him, how can he have 2?" yelled the distraught man. During the sealing, an incubus flew into his chest. He became a voluntary tenant, laughed the Shinigami, holding his ribs because they were in agony. "Shinigami-sama, please remove this incubus from my son. I shudder to think at what the council will try to pull if they know he has 2 demons in his body," requested Minato urgently. "Sorry, but I couldn't even if I wanted to. Demons that enter a host willingly are protected by the host's own defense mechanism. Basically, if I remove him, it's like removing his immune system, or a vital organ. If removed, he will die. Do you really want that for your son?" said the Shinigami, calming down slightly. "What effects will this have on my son?" asked Minato in defeat. "Well, aside from being a pervert that would put your sensei to shame, he will obtain incredible strength and endurance. His chakra capacity will double from what it would have been with the Sucuubi. He will also become irresistible to ladies from the moment he hits puberty, which by the way will happen 2 years sooner. Last but not least, he will have almost perfect chakra control and access to all of Kyuubi's chakra without adverse effects on his body," said the Shinigami, smirking. "No, why must my son be a pervert? And puberty 2 years early? It's hard enough when you're old enough for it," was the yell from Minato. It was so loud, in fact, that it was heard on numerous planes of existence and different dimensions. "Hokage Tower? Someone in the afterlife is in extreme pain about something," said Sarutobi with a shiver. "Bleach verse, Karakura Town. Did you guys hear that?" asked Ichigo Kurosaki, a 15-year-old boy, to his friends. "Yes," was a pale, bespectacled boy's response. Was the response of a tan giant of a teenager. "Yeah, I wonder what it was," said a buxom brunette. "Bleach verse, Suriidii. Did anyone else hear the scream of someone in emotional distress?" asked an elderly man with a haori with the kanji for 1 in his back. "Yes," was the response he got from everyone in the room. "Star Wars verse. Luke, I feel a disturbance in the Force," said Darth Vader in his creepy computerized voice. "So do I, Vader. What do you think it is?" responded Luke. "I honestly have no idea," said Vader before they continued their battle. "And I think this joke has run its course. Let's continue with the story now." Back with Minato. "Will you shut up? It's not as bad as you think. Knowing your genes, the pervert thing is a maybe. If it doesn't happen, then the incubus will just try to corrupt him. If he's anything like you, then the incubus is in for a major ass kicking. Now about the puberty thing, look on the bright side, at least he won't be lonely. I mean, think about it, all of the women his age will be trying to get a piece of him. He will have a harem that puts the stuff in your sensei's books to shame. What father doesn't want that for his child?" said the Shinigami, trying to placate Minato. "All he did was make everything worse." Minato screeched like a banshee. "And think, a really high-pitched girly scream. Haruno household." Achu sneezed, a pink-haired baby in the arms of her mother. With Minato covering his ears, the Shinigami had enough. He opened his mouth and ate Minato's soul and left the mortal plane. "Hey, Thymysticles here. I just wanted to say that the inspiration for this story just hit me one day. I apologize if it seems subpar. I have been trying to write for all of my stories while in a massive writer's block. I just try plowing through it sometimes, but I always hold back from posting in fear of bad reviews. Oh well, hope you like this story, and by the way, it will get much funnier. Please review or flame, just so I can work on improving it. Ja any." Sarutobi Hiruzen was sitting at his desk working on his usual paperwork. The Sucuubi attack ended just over 3 years ago with Minato's sacrifice. Since that day, Sarutobi tried protecting Naruto in the only way he saw possible. He lied to him and kept his heritage from the boy. Hiruzen believed that if only he knew the truth, then Iwa would have no reason to try and kill Naruto, and Naruto would never know of his burden. Well, burdens actually. He remembered the day the Shinigami came and dropped the biggest bomb of his life. Flashback. It was the day of the Sucuubi sealing. Hiruzen sat at what was once his desk, soon to be his again. He was weeping both for the loss of a great hero and his son who would never get to know his parents. One he would never get to know because he was already dead, the other because Sarutobi told her her son was dead. He hated lying, but he did it to protect Naruto from the truths that would tear him apart. "Hello, monkey," came a voice interrupting Sarutobi's thoughts. "Who's there? Show yourself," said Sarutobi. "As you wish," said the voice eerily. As it removed its glamour, Sarutobi flinched back. Floating before him was the Shinigami. "Stay back, you won't take me today. I still have to fulfill my promise to Minato," shouted Sarutobi, moving into a defensive stance. "Worry not, monkey, your soul is safe for now. I merely came to deliver some information about the youngling," said the Shinigami, pointing to Naruto. "What?" asked a confused Sarutobi. "The boy is more than he appears. During the sealing, an incubus entered his body and was sealed there like the Sucuubi. I already explained it to Minato, and now I explain it to you. Please see previous chapter. I really don't feel like repeating myself on the effects of the incubus. Now that you know, try to keep him away from danger. If pushed too far, he will awaken the incubus, and that may have disastrous effects. If his will isn't strong enough, then it will take over, turning him into a mindless tool for the incubus to be pleasured with," said the Shinigami. "What exactly do you mean by that?" asked Sarutobi. "I mean his body will become a meat puppet for the incubus to use to rape and defile any woman he sees as pleasing to him. It doesn't matter what age they are or what age he is, for that matter, it will still happen," said Shinigami. Sarutobi paled at this. He knew he would have trouble with the council, but this is something they would need to push the balance to have him killed. He refused to let that happen, so he made the hardest decisions of his life. He hid Naruto's true heritage and decided to put him in an orphanage. He decided to put his trust in the people of the village. "Goodbye, monkey, I'll see you in about 12 years. Enjoy them," said Shinigami before fading out of existence. "Naruto, I'm so sorry, but the village will see you as a hero, my boy. They will see you as the savior that protects them from a great evil," said Sarutobi. Flashback end. Sarutobi sat there and teared up, remembering how the village really accepted Naruto. Flashback. People of Konoha, our greatest leader, the Yondaime Hokage, has died, as has his only son. But with his sacrifice, he has defeated a great threat. While he could not defeat the beast known as Sucuubi, he could seal it. Thus we have our second savior, Uzumaki Naruto. Minato sealed the great beast into the navel of this newborn babe, thus containing it forevermore, proclaimed Sarutobi from the Hokage tower with a smile on his face and tears running down his eyes. "Kill it, while it's still weak, kill the Sucuubi in human form," shouted a random villager. This started a rock slide of similar shouts. Sarutobi was baffled by the lack of trust the villagers were showing. "Silence," shouted Sarutobi, finally losing his patience. "From this day forward there shall be a new law. This boy is to never know of the Sucuubi sealed within him, and neither are the children too young to already know. Breaking this law shall be punishable by death. Now be gone, all of you," he said. Flashback end. "Oh Naruto, can you ever forgive an old man his mistakes?" asked Sarutobi to no one in particular. "Somewhere in the village. Died demon spawn. This is for my husband. How dare you show your face after what you did?" These were the things a little boy only 3 years old heard as a mob viciously beat him. Why were they beating him? He didn't know. But the villagers did, for he was the container of the Sucuubi no Kitsune. He wore an overly large white shirt with the leaf symbol on the chest and baggy black shorts. He had sun-ed blonde hair and entrancing blue eyes. His face had surprisingly little baby fat and 3 whisker-like birth scars on either side of his face. If one were to look under his shirt, you would see he was completely emaciated with scars and brandings all over. He had a haunted look in his eyes that bespoke of pain, both physical and emotional, that would drive the strongest-willed man into the depths of insanity. "Please stop, I didn't do anything," yelled the 3-year-old named Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto had just been kicked out of the orphanage. The only thing he did was ask if he could go play with the other children. The old crone that ran the orphanage took her cane and began beating him with it, saying he would never be allowed to contaminate the children of real heroes. After that she kicked him out, saying a demon should be able to take care of itself. That brings us to now, with a mob trying to kill the poor child. The civilians exhaust themselves, leaving just the shinobi beating him. With the civilians out of harm's way, they began loosing jutsu after jutsu on Naruto. They used fire, water, earth, even lightning on his frail, malnourished body. When they exhausted themselves out, they left as well, but not before one in a porcelain dog mask wearing a gray ANBU captain's cloak throws a kunai, hitting him right in between his eyes. That was for my sensei and his son, you worthless demon. Why you don't just die I'll never know, said the ANBU, walking off. That was the last thing Naruto heard before he lost his consciousness. Mindscape. When he awoke, he found himself in a sewer-like hallway. Where am I? He wondered aloud. Come to me, come meet your pain, called a dark, guttural voice. Knowing he couldn't escape even if he tried, he decided to follow the voice. He followed the pipes in the ceiling until he came to a giant room. He looked up to try and see the ceiling, but all he saw was darkness. Right in front of him was a giant cage as tall as the ceiling. It looked as if it was held together completely by a single afuda with the kanji for CO written on it. Inside the cage, two blood-red eyes opened up. Hello Ningen, welcome to my domain, said the voice again. Who are you? Asked Naruto, scared out of his mind. I'm sure the smarter readers have figured it out already and can see the irony in this situation. Come closer, and I'll tell you, said the voice. Just as Naruto was about to take a step closer, a hand grabs his shoulder, stopping him. That's a cruel joke to play, you worthless fuzzball, said a much kinder voice from behind Naruto. What would you know of it, you incubus? You can't even act like a real demon, yelled the voice in anger. Language, we have a minor present. So what if I'm not like other demons? I'm still more powerful than you, Cubus, said the incubus. This shocked Naruto to the core. He took a close look at him. It looked like a boy of about 16 or 17. He was about 5 feet 11 inches, with almost non-existent hair from being shaved. He had a neatly trimmed goatee and mustache on his face, and cold gray-blue eyes. He wore a simple attire of nothing but tan pants. On his back were black bat-like wings, and a tail that looked like a two-pronged spear at the end. His hands had nails that looked diamond-hard with edges like paper. How sharp they looked. His body was lean and muscular, with large but not overly bulky arms. All in all, he looked like the epitome of the perfect man, the one guy all women would want. Wait, what do you mean? The Kyuubi was killed 3 years ago by the Yondaime, and how can you be more powerful than the Kyuubi? It's supposed to be the most powerful being on the mortal plane, said Naruto with disdain. Kid, the Kyuubi wasn't killed, it was sealed, and you were the one chosen to contain it. I'm more powerful than the Kyuubi because he's only Akuma-sama's pet. I, on the other hand, am a free demon. While he would lounge around in hell, I would be training to become stronger, said the incubus. Well, I would try to get stronger, but Akuma won't let me. She just pets and pampers me all the time. Why do you think I left for the human world, said Kyuubi. Le gasp. You mean to tell me you didn't want to simply cause mass mayhem and destruction, said the incubus. No, but that was the icing on the cake, said Kyuubi with a sadistic grin. Right, well, back to the matter at hand, let me introduce myself to you, young one. My name is Ichiro Hire, said Hiro. Thank you very much, Ichiro-san. I am Uzumaki Naruto, said Naruto happily. You're welcome, Naruto, and please call me Hiro. I hate those honorifics, said Hiro, smiling. You will call me Kyuubi-sama, no exceptions, said Kyuubi haughtily. Naruto, cover your ears. Naruto listens. Shut he up, you worthless bag of shit and fur. You are in no position to demand respect, and even if you were, you haven't earned it, tiled Hiro at Kyuubi. Now that's out of the way, we have much to talk about, said Hiro somberly. What about? Asked Naruto. Well, let's start from the beginning. Both Kyuubi and I hail from deep recesses in hell. Now before you jump to any conclusions, I want you to listen. Not all that resides in the dark is evil, just like not everything that resides in the light is good. Take the ANBU with the Inu mask for example. He was raised in the light, yet he performed an act that not even we demons would do. He attacked a youngling. You demons may love destruction and a good battle, but we would never attack a youngling, especially since they are so rare in hell. But back to my story. I lived a simple life as a human once. Naruto's eyes grew wide at this. I was a soldier, at the rank of captain, but one fateful day I was ordered to attack one of the outposts of hell in your world. I had exactly 2,000 soldiers under my command, and the enemy had 200,000 powerful demons at their disposal. What happened next couldn't even be described as a battle, it was a massacre. We charged in only to find our blades were completely ineffective. They tore up my men limb from limb, leaving no survivors. I was the only one who actually got his blade stained in demon blood. I fought like a berserker, putting all my strength in my swings. I may have felled 5, maybe 50 of them. I lost count after the second one. After I turned from my last kill, I saw that I was the only one left alive. I was completely surrounded, but they refused to attack. Then the most beautiful woman I ever saw stepped forward. She asked why we attacked her men. I answered, and she looked at me with pity. She told me that I was a fool and should have just accepted death instead of following those orders. She then bound me and drugged me to her home. I was told that I would forever be her source of food. She was a succubus, a demoness that obtains nourishment from the carnal pleasures of the flesh, said Hiro. What does that mean? Asked Naruto. It means that she eats through and raped him on a daily basis, laughed Kyuubi evilly. I would have put it in a better way, but that's the gist of it. Now, after around 5 years of the same routine, I finally found a way to escape. It turns out that I should have stayed, because my way out sent me straight into the bowels of hell. That's where I met Akuma-sama and Kyuubi team, here. She said that for trespassing into her private domain I would be forever cursed to live as what I hate. At that time I hated seduction demons with a passion. That means she turned me into an incubus. That was all over 1,000 years ago. I've learned to accept what I am, even going so far as to enjoy it on rare occasions. Then about 3 years ago Kyuubi ran away from Akuma-sama. He attacked your village and was sealed in you as a result. Now as for why I'm here, I just ran to the place I thought I was the safest. It just so happened to be you, but now I can't leave without risk to your life. Your father put a pretty strong seal on you to be able to bind me, and you unintentionally, said Hiro. Why were you running in the first place? Asked Naruto. You know, I've been wondering that myself, said Kyuubi. Well, it was kind of an accident. One day I was walking by the onsen, when I was sucker punched. Now normally I wouldn't care, but this punch sent me flying into the wall on the women's side, or rather through the wall. Tell me, have either of you felt the wrath of 100 pissed off women? Asked Hiro. Not, hey, both answered. Well, I have, and it's not pretty. I said the wrong thing about the wrong guy and I was put up in the hospital for a few months, even with my advanced healing factor. Now I want you to take that and multiply it by about 100. It was just my luck that all 10,000 succubi that resided in hell were in the onsen at the same time. The second I realized what happened, I fled, ironically right into another pile of shit. In other words, Akuma-sama, who charged me to finding the team here in the living world and bringing him back. Unfortunately, the succubi followed me intent on, well, let's just say I'd rather not think about it, said Hiro, shaking at the thought. They all were. You said my father made the seal, right? Asked Naruto. Yes, why? Asked Hiro. Wasn't it Yandame-sama who sealed the Kyuubi? If that were the case, then that would mean he began trailing off. Yes, your father was Minato Namikaze, the Yandame Hokage, Konoha's Yellow Flash, whatever title you chose. He was your father, said Hiro. My father? Why? Why did he choose me? Asked Naruto with tears in his eyes. He chose you because as Hokage he couldn't ask one of his men to do something he wasn't willing to do himself. It's the mark of a great leader, but he put too much trust in the idiots that live in this village. He wanted you to be seen as a hero, but instead they do to you what no demon would ever do, said Hiro. Enough of this sappy bullshit. Listen, ninja, and remove the seal from this cage and set me free. I'll give you all my power and together we can destroy this pathetic excuse of a village, with the exception of the women. I haven't had a good in a few millennia, so we should rape them to show we are dominant, said Kyuubi with a maniacal gleam in his eye. Hiro, what do you think I should do? Asked Naruto, looking to his new big brother figure. This is one thing I can help you with. You must choose the fate of the village. But before you decide, let me ask you, are you willing to throw away all that your father gave up for your own revenge? Are you willing to destroy all that he held dear just because a few idiots gave you a hard time? Are you willing to prove those same villagers right about what you are? Are you willing to destroy the only chance of finding a girl that you want to actually settle down with and raise a family? What I'm asking you is, are you willing to sell your soul and destroy everything just for the sake of a few seconds of revenge? Because that's all you're going to get before the Kyuubi takes over completely, and you die, said Hiro, looking straight in Naruto's eyes. He thought long and hard about it. Was he willing to give everything and lose himself for revenge? He loved his father and wanted to make him proud despite what he did to him, and what the villagers did. He wanted to have a family, and be a proud father himself. He wanted to prove those bastards were wrong about him. He came to his answer and opened his eyes. He walked up to the bars of the Sucuubi's cage and looked him straight in the eye with determination and said, "Sucuubi, take your offer and shove it so far up your ass it's leaking out your eyes. I am a proud member of Konoha and I will never betray my people to the likes of you. As of this point you are completely cut off from me. Begone from my mind, vile demon, and never forget that I, Uzumaki Naruto, will become the greatest Hokage, and I never go back on my word, for that will be my nindo, my way of the ninja," yelled Naruto. As if spurred on by his voice, the bars of the cage began morphing into a solid steel door. Chains sprang up from the ground and locked the door tighter than any prison could ever hope to accomplish. Then a blue barrier formed in front of the chain door, cutting it off completely. Whistles, not bad for a kid your age. Hell, I doubt that even the Yamanakas could come close to matching this, and there is no way anything short of Kami-sama or Akuma-sama could break into this thing, said Hiro, impressed. Thank you, Aniki. Like I said before, I never go back on my word, and I said I would cut him off completely, said Naruto, panting a little from the mental strain. Rest easy, Ototo. I'll see you when you sleep next, but you can still hear me in the meantime, said Hiro as he forced Naruto out of his mind. Real world. Naruto woke up and looked around. He could just barely see the retreating back of the ANBU that threw the kunai in between his eyes. He pulled it out with a wince and dropped it with a clang. The ANBU heard it and stopped. He slowly turned to see Naruto try to stand on his wobbly legs. He ran to get the Hokage to try and convince him that Sucuubi was taking over. Naruto looked at his wounds to see them healing at an incredible rate. I guess it wasn't a dream then, he thought. Nope, not in the slightest, said Hiro. Well, thanks for healing me at least, he thought. That's not me, kid, that's all you. It was a special ability from your mother's side. Not exactly a Kekkai Genkai, but more like an inherited clan technique. You do have a Kekkai Genkai from your father, though I'll have to find it and activate it for you. But back to your mother's technique, you unconsciously channel chakra to wounded parts of your body and heal them at a rapid pace. The best part about this is the actual Kekkai Genkai that comes with it. Once fully healed, you become stronger than you were before. To put it in perspective, a man who has a heart attack will only get weaker from it. If you were to have a heart attack, you would come out with a stronger heart than ever before. Haven't you noticed that none of your bones are broken and your skin isn't as cut up as it should be, Hiro? Yeah, I do now that you mention it. So eventually you're saying that my skin could eventually become as hard as rock and my bones as hard as diamond, asked Naruto excitedly. That would be a long ways away, Ototo. Even knowing this, you should still be careful. Even with this technique you can still die. And remember, you can't always rely on a Kekkai Genkai or you will defiantly lose your life, said Hiro in a lecturing tone. I understand, Aniki. Please help me, teach me and I will learn, said Naruto. Before Hiro could respond, Naruto saw a shadowy figure running towards him. As the figure neared, he saw he had a black bag on his shoulder that seemed to be moving. Naruto, wanting to find out what was in the bag, stepped in front of the man. Get out of the way, Gaki. I have a Hyuga to deliver. They never said in what condition though. Maybe I'll have some fun with her first, said the man with a gruff voice. The second Hiro heard that, his blood began to boil. If there was one thing he hated more than a rapist, it was a child rapist. He determined by the size of the bag the girl or boy in there couldn't be any older than his Ototo. Listen, this kind of scum is evil, kill him. Any TME that would rape a child isn't deserving of the title human. Do the world a favor and remove this shit stain from the face of this WORL hero. This startled Naruto because he had never heard Hiro yell in such a commanding voice. He did the only thing that came naturally, he listened. He picked up the kunai and got into a sloppy defensive position. The man laughed and said, You think you can take me, you little shit? I'm a jonin, you don't stand a chance in hell of even slowing me down. Funny, because he seems to have done just that, said a voice behind the man. He turned around to come face to face with Hyuga Hayashi. Hayashi wasted no time in killing the nin with a juken strike to his heart. As the man fell, he dropped the bag. Hayashi didn't even spare it a glance. He just picked up the body of the nin and took it away. Naruto ran to the bag and opened it up. He saw a little girl about his age with stunning blue-black hair and eyes of soft lavender, accentuated by her creamy complexion that glowed like the moon despite the bruises and black and blue marks all over her nude body. She looked at him with fear in her eyes, thinking he would hurt her like everyone else but her mother. Please, Didi, don't hurt me. I just www want my mommy, she stuttered, her eyes tearing up. I'm not going to hurt you, I want to help you. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, what's yours, he asked in a soft voice. It's Yuta Hinata, she replied. Hinata, that's a beautiful name. How did you get all of those bruises, asked Naruto. TTT, they came from Mi2-san, and TTT, that man, she said, blushing at her lack of apparel and his words. That teen, don't worry, I won't let him hurt you again. Someone as beautiful as you shouldn't be forced to go through that. Does he do anything else to you, asked Naruto while wrapping her in his overlarge shirt and cradling her gently. What happened to you, she yelled, seeing his uncovered chest. She saw scars that were long and jagged, meaning they had to heal without stitches. She saw dark and light ones, small ones and big ones. She saw brandings that, from what little she could read, were very derogatory and insulting. She could read evil demon, murderer, child killer, monster, demon fox, and bastard child. She saw screw holes and burn scars, with what looked like acid burns. She saw how emaciated he was, and when she looked closely in his eyes, she saw pain and sadness, suffering and anguish, hurt and loneliness. In other words, she saw a boy a little older than her, looking like he went through hell and back 100 times. Don't worry about me. Let's just say I'm not liked very well for something I never did or had any control over. You see, my father gave me up to be used to steal something, and said Naruto. What could be so horrible that they would do this to you? What could make them hate so much, she asked without stuttering in her concern for this boy. Please understand that I am just the jail, not the prisoner. On October 10th, 3 years ago, I was used as the vessel of the greatest threat to Konoha since its foundation, said Naruto. Hinata's eyes grew wide as realization struck her. You mean that, she began. Yes, I am the vessel of the Kyuubi no Kitsune. I am the container of all the pain of the villagers. I am the living sacrifice and their reminder of everything they lost on that day, said Naruto. Finally, Hinata couldn't take it anymore. She glomped onto his chest and began bawling, hugging him as tightly as she could. All that pain, all of that, and you are still so kind. You risk your life for a villager who, for all you knew, had hurt you. You stay with me and comfort me when my father left for something else. You hold me and protect me so that I don't get hurt anymore or taken again. You are truly an angel among demons, she said between sobs, not stuttering once. That's not quite right. I'd say more of a demon among monsters, said Naruto. Hinata, get over here, you worthless whore, came a yell from behind them. It was Hayashi who returned from taking the body to the Hokage. Seeing who she was with, he charged to her and picked her up by her hair, bringing her to eye level. PPPP, please to SSS-san, you're hurting me, she said, grimacing in pain. Hurt, you want hurt, you've got it, he shouted. He pulled back his hand and slapped her across her face. He cocked his fist back and punched her right in the ribs. Naruto swore he heard a few bones break. How I ever spawned such a weak, worthless, demon-loving whore is beyond me. I'm ashamed to say that a reject like you is my child, he continued shouting, hitting her all the while. Each hit seemed to cause Naruto just as much pain as it did to her. His blood began boiling and his anger grew with every hit, until he couldn't take it anymore. Stop it, you child-beating sack of shit, he yelled at the top of his lungs, charging. He shoulder-tackled Hayashi right in the knees, hearing a satisfying snap signaling his legs broke. Hayashi screamed in pain, dropping Hinata as he fell. Naruto was right there to catch her as she fell. He cradled her softly against him once again. You helped me again, he said with tears running down her face anew. Whether they were from gratitude or pain he didn't know, nor did it matter to him. All that mattered was her safety. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him, heading straight for the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. 15 minutes later. Naruto reached the tower in record time for him. He hurried through the doors and right into the Hokage's office. Gigi, we need help, shouted Naruto as he burst into the room. Naruto, what is it? asked the aged Hokage, seeing the condition the two children were in. Hinata needs help, please get the doctors you always get from me, he said, pleading. We'll all go to the hospital, and she can be taken care of there, said Sarutobi, getting up to leave. And no, I don't trust hospitals, just bring the doctors here, shouted Naruto in such a commanding voice that Sarutobi listened out of reflex. Naruto set Hinata gingerly on the couch, and sat down next to her. After 5 minutes he got up and looked at what the Hokage was doing when he burst in. He saw a sight that made his heart stop. It was a file on him, and right on top was an adoption request from the Ikarakus, his favorite ramen stand owners. He looked through the rest of the file. What he found made his blood boil almost to the same extent it did when he saw Hayashi beating Hinata. He saw 50 different adoption requests, about half of them from the Ikarakus, a quarter from the Aburames, and the final quarter was split into thirds, all from the Inoshikacho families. All denied by the Hokage with his signature and seal. But worst of all, he saw his birth certificate. It listed his parents beside Minato Namikaze was deceased, but the other name Kushina Uzumaki, it said she was still alive. He saw a footnote by it that read, "I had to tell Kushina her son was dead so that I could protect him." Everyone knew that Minato and Kushina were married, even though they never announced it. If she knew, then she would try to take her husband's name and give it to Naruto. I couldn't let her, because if I did then IWA would attack, and we just can't afford to fight them so soon after the attack. When he finished reading, his heart literally stopped for about a minute. He had a mother, she didn't abandon him after the sealing. She was still alive, and his Gigi, no, he didn't deserve that title anymore. Sarutobi told her he was dead. He lied to both of their faces, and for what? To try and trick IWA. Just by taking a look you could see the resemblance to his father, so it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. He was denied a family by a foolish old man who thought he was doing good. "The road to hell is paved with good intentions," quoted Hiro, who was equally pissed at Sarutobi. "What does that mean?" asked Naruto. "It means that when you do bad things in an attempt to do good, all you get is the bad. He did that to try to protect you from IWA, but instead placed you in harm's way right here where you would definitely get hurt," said Hiro, losing all respect for Sarutobi. Just at that moment, Sarutobi walked into the room. Just taking one look at him made Naruto quiver in anger. "Naruto, what are you doing behind my desk? I thought you would be tending to your friend," said Sarutobi. "Hello, Sarutobi. I was just looking around and I found something very interesting." "Would you like to know what I found?" said Naruto. Sarutobi immediately noticed the use of his surname, and the venom in Naruto's voice was almost palpable. "What?" asked Sarutobi apprehensively. "You lied to me my whole life, you bastard. You said my mother was dead, but she left after you told her I was dead. You lied to me about my father and not knowing who he was, and you lied about why I wasn't adopted," yelled Naruto, some demonic chakra from Hiro leaking out. "Naruto, I can explain," he began, only to be cut off. "You don't have to explain anything. Hiro did a good job of that. I know you did it, try and protect me, but all you did was assure I would be hurt. IWA might not have even attacked, and even if they did, do you really think your own village so weak that they couldn't win?" he continued. "What? Who's Hiro?" asked Sarutobi. "He's the other demon sealed in me," said Naruto in a quieter voice. "He's awake, Naruto, resist whatever he tells you to do." He began, only to be cut off again. "If I listened to you, then Hinata wouldn't be here right now. He's the one who told me to fight that man that was kidnapping her and going to rape her. He treats me like a little brother, explains things so I can understand, and help me cope with the damn fuzzball in my navel," said Naruto, shocking everyone in the room. "Sarutobi, you never told us that demon had another demon sealed in him," said one of the doctors. "ANBU, arrest him for breaking my law," said Sarutobi. As the ANBU appeared, Naruto decided to step in. "Don't bother, I already told Hinata about it. She accepts me for who I am. Unlike this cesspool called a village. She actually called me an angel among demons," said Naruto with a far-off look in his eyes. "Naruto," began Sarutobi. "Enough, once Hinata is healed enough to travel, which better be tonight, I'm taking her home with me. By the way, Sarutobi, I'm gonna need an apartment. Those bastards at the orphanage kicked me out today," said Naruto. "Here," he said, tossing some keys to Naruto. "They were the keys to your mother's apartment, now yours. What has the village done to you to make you this way? What could they possibly have done?" asked Sarutobi. "The biggest thing was done by you, Sarutobi. But you ask what they could have possibly done. How about this?" said Naruto, removing his shirt for everyone in the room to see. The doctors were horrified, even the one who called him a demon. Two of the ANBU started gagging and the other just threw up in his mask. Sarutobi turned a pale shade of green. They saw all the scars and brandings and burns and other imperfections on his skin. "How? The Kyuubi should have healed you without a scratch?" asked a female ANBU with a cat mask. "The villagers wanted to see if they could scar my body after they saw it healed perfectly every time. They started experimenting with things in my cuts, from bleach to manure to salt and their own piss. They found out how, and the news spread like wildfire. From then on they used those methods when beating me, unless they just wanted to cause me pain. And by the way, Sucuubi has nothing to do with my healing factor. It's a special technique from my mother's side. The body unconsciously channels chakra to the wound to accelerate healing. The Sucuubi is completely cut off from me, as of tonight, said Naruto in a monotone voice. How? Asked the doctor that insulted him before. By my own will, he is sealed tighter than a crab's buttocks. And to guard the prison is the other demon, my honorary Aniki Ichiro hero. By our combined power the fuzz ball will stay locked up until I die, said Naruto. She's done. You can take her whenever necessary, said one of the other doctors. Naruto, is there anything I can do to make it up to you, and show you the good still in the village? Asked Sarutobi as Naruto walked up to Hinata, picking her up bridal style. No, there isn't. And showing me the good in the village is pointless because they will never show it to me, said Naruto, as he walked off, leaving a crying Hokage and several stunned people. It has been 5 days since the attempted kidnapping of the Hyuga heiress, and the village was in an uproar. They were calling for the blood of the village pariah, the Sucuubi no Jinchuriki, and, roughly translated into, human sacrifice of the 9 tails, Uzumaki Naruto. The day after he found out about his heritage, he went straight to the Hokage and demanded the use of his rightful last name. He was denied. Sarutobi tried to explain why, but Naruto just stormed out, running right into Hyuga Hitomi. She was looking for her daughter. Flashback. Sarutobi-sama, please, you have to help me. My husband says that my daughter has been kidnapped by a demon, said Hitomi with tears running down her face, clutching her 6-month pregnant stomach. Hitomi, you shouldn't be running around in your condition. It could hurt your baby, said Sarutobi, concerned. Funny how you show concern for others but not for me, Sarutobi. But then again, I guess that's the life of a Jinchuriki. I'm just glad Hinata accepted me, said Naruto, turning his back to them as he walked away. Hearing the name of her daughter, Hitomi grabbed his arm and turned around. What do you know of my daughter? Do you know where she is? Is she alright? Who are you even? She asked in a mad rush, kneeling at eye level and clutching his shoulders tightly. I know plenty about your daughter, enough to say she is safer where she's at than at home with that bastard she called a father. She is with me and getting better. The only reason she isn't fine now is because of that child abusing her of a father of hers, beating her to a bloody pulp. As to who I am, my birthday is October 10th. 3 years ago, I am an orphan, and I am hated by the village and called a demon for what I contain. You figure it out from what I've told you, said Naruto, coldly shrugging her off and walking away. Hitomi was stunned. Nobody had ever treated a Hyuga like that. Especially the wife of the clan head. Naruto, get back here and apologize. You should know to show respect to those who deserve it, scolded Sarutobi, frowning at him. As my Aniki said last night to the fuzzball, you are in no position to demand respect, and even if you were, you haven't earned it yet, replied Naruto. He continued walking away, leaving a gobsmacked Sarutobi and an intrigued Hitomi. Sarutobi-sama, who was that boy, and who is this Aniki of his? While on the subject, what did he mean? Fuzzball asked Hitomi curiously. His name is Uzumaki Naruto, the Sucuubi no Jinchuriki. His Aniki is another demon that was sealed into him by accident. The fuzzball, as they so affectionately call him, is Sucuubi himself, who, if I understand Naruto right, is completely cut off from any and all access to his mind and body. To quote him, he is sealed tighter than a crab's buttocks, said Sarutobi, smirking at the thought. Why does he show such disdain for you and the village? She asked. Go seek him out and ask for yourself, but I warn you, if he does show you, it will give you nightmares the likes of which you have never nor will probably ever see, warned Sarutobi, watching as Hitomi's eyes widened at his words. What could possibly be so bad that he, with all of his experience, says that, she thought. End flashback. Naruto sat on his balcony overlooking the streets, thinking of all the problems that arose from that. First, Hitomi barged into his apartment and disturbed Hinata by trying to move her, agitating her injuries in her rush to hug her daughter. She inadvertently caused a few more bruises on the more tender parts of her flesh, and agitated the current ones. At Hinata's cry of pain, Naruto rushed in to see what was wrong. The only problem was he was preparing for a shower and ran out shirtless. The instant Hitomi saw his scars, she knew why Sarutobi warned her. She had 2 reactions. The first was to scream and back up, and the second was to vomit her breakfast all over the freshly cleaned carpets. Naruto raged and moaned about all the work he had to do to remove those stains in the first place, and now he had to start all over again. After he finally got her to calm down, they had a little chat that he felt needed to be said. Flashback. Alright, Hitomi-san, now that you're done screaming and defiling my carpets, we can talk, said Naruto, as Hitomi blushed in embarrassment. Before we do any talking, please put a shirt on. It's taking all of my restraint to not have a repeat performance, she asked, putting her hand over her mouth and gagging a little bit for emphasis. Fine, but if you're going to vomit again, the trash can is 2 feet to your left, he replied, pointing to the can 2 feet from the pool of sick in front of her. She looked down and blushed an even deeper crimson than before. Naruto returned with his torn and bloody shirt that he wore the night before. Is that really the best you can do, she asked, looking at him skeptically. Considering they kicked me out of the orphanage with only the cloths on my back, yes, he yelled the last part. She cringed, because when you live in the lap of luxury you often forget that the poor make do with what they have. Now she was by no means conceited, but she still was rich and was used to seeing everything more or less in perfect condition. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend, I just forgot that some people can't help what they have, she replied, looking very sheepish. Yeah, on to business though, he said, leaving the conversation open for her to start. Okay, to start, why didn't you return my daughter, Hinata, to the Hyuga compound, she asked first. Well, that's a stupid question. She was being beaten by her own father, and probably others, he stated, only to be interrupted by Hinata. The elders, she said. What, asked Hitomi, looking furious, making Hinata cringe. Please don't be mad at me, she said as she started to weep. Naruto just walked over to her, wiping her tears away, sitting down next to her. His presence seemed to soothe her, as she tried to snuggle closer to him. Hinata-chan, I wasn't mad at you, I'm furious that the elders would do that to you. But I don't believe your father would. All I've ever seen him show you was love and affection, she started, only to be cut off by Naruto. Exactly, that's all you've seen. You weren't there last night when he was beating her, just for being around me. If Aniki didn't help, then I doubt I could have saved her, he said, smiling lightly at Hinata as she drifted off into sleep. I would like to meet this Aniki of yours. If he lets you live here by yourself, then he must be a bad one, she said, making Naruto scowl. Otuto, listen, before you blow a gasket, I found a way to have a physical body, said Hiro, stalling for just a few seconds. Okay, just give me a minute to get him, he said, walking towards the bedroom. Okay, I need you to bite your thumb and do these hand signs. When you're done, slam your hand on the ground while thinking of me, and say Kuchios and O Jutsu, Hiro told him. He followed the instructions, and after slamming his hands on the ground, a puff of smoke appeared. When it dissipated, it revealed Hiro in all his demonic glory. Wow, Aniki, you look great, but you may want to hide the wings and tail, said Naruto, hugging Hiro tightly on the leg. Alright, Otuto, let's go set a Hyuga straight, said Hiro, walking out of the room and sitting down across from Hitomi. So you're the infamous Aniki that young Naruto talks about. He has said a few things and I wish to get confirmation from you, she said, giving him a good once-over. If I wasn't married and a few years younger, I think I would have jumped him by now, she thought, blushing a little bit. You like what you see, he asked with a smirk, making her blush even more. TTT, that's none of your concern, she said, stuttering a little bit, looking mortified. But I think it is. I mean, it is my body you're ogling. But on to business, what did Naruto say that you want me to confirm, he said, his smirk turning into a serious face in less than a second. He said that he saw my husband beating Hinata, and out in public no less, well, despite the fact that it was well after midnight, she said. What Naruto said he saw was correct. Your chicken shit bastard of a husband is also a child beater. I suggest 2 things to you. First, keep your second daughter as far away as possible, and don't worry about Hinata, she will be staying with us. And 2, keep the bastard as far from me as possible, because I guarantee you the next time I see him, I will kill him in the most painful way demonically possible. That, my dear, is a promise, and a man of my caliber never breaks his promises. Now it is time to begin training for my Otuto. I must ask that you vacate the premises, said Hiro, not breaking eye contact or changing his facial expression in the least. Not without my daughter, she said defiantly. She will be much safer with the 2 of us than with you at your house. Trust me on this. But I can see you won't budge on this matter, so how about a compromise, he said. I'm listening, she replied, narrowing her eyes. How about we wait for her to wake up and let her decide? It's only fair, being as it's her we're talking about, said Hiro, holding his hand out to seal the deal. Alright, said Hitomi, grasping his hand. The second their skin touched, a sharp pain lanced through both of their arms. Hitomi winced and pulled her hand back to reveal it to be bleeding. Hiro's hand was in the same condition, but he looked as if it was nothing. "The deal is complete," he said, smirking. "What the hell was that, and why did it happen?" she asked angrily. "It was a blood pact. A binding contract that if broken will take the life of the person who broke it. Call it a little insurance. And it happened because that's what happens when you make a deal with the devil," replied Hiro, showing his wings, tail, and fangs. "Www, she asked, stuttering and backing away in sheer terror, wondering what she may have just condemned her daughter to. "Simple, I am an incubus. Now before you start going apeshit crazy, I'm not like other demons. I pledge to you right now on both the honor I possess and the power I wield as a SS-class demon, no harm will come to your daughter from either me or my Otoro while she is under our care. And we will both protect her to the best of our abilities from any other outside sources," said Hiro, cutting his left palm with his right thumb claw and leaving a bloody handprint on his chest. "So you would really give up your power if you harmed her?" asked Hitomi, skeptical. "Yes, to a demon their word is their bond. We always hold true to our word or lose everything. I mean, do you honestly know how long it would take me to regain all the power I lost if I had to start from scratch? I'll tell you, it would take well over 1,000 years. But even if I were to lose all my power, I'd still protect your daughter," said Hiro, smiling softly. "Why?" Hitomi asked, confused. "The kid has taken a liking to her. Do you know what I see when I look at those two sleeping like that?" asked Hiro. "No," replied Hitomi, confused. "I see the future king of the succubus, and one of his many mates," said Hiro with a small tear running down his cheek. "Wait, he will be the future king of a clan of demons and you're sealed in him. Then does that make you?" she started, only to be cut off. "Yes, I am the current king. But before you read too deeply into it, it's not a hereditary thing, so it doesn't matter that we aren't blood relatives. You see, in hell, every year all the seduction class demons, meaning incubi and succubi, gather together and have a battle royal to see who rules over them for the next year. It's actually surprising that an incubus was able to retain the throne for over 900 years, explained Hiro. "Why is that? And how long was the throne held for?" asked Hitomi, intrigued, while Naruto faked sleep. "There are several advantages that the succubi have on the incubi. Primarily is there are about 10 times the amount of succubi than there are incubi. Secondly, they have more strength than the average incubus. Hell, the only advantage we have over them is stamina that would actually make Kami daunted. And I mean, we can go on for weeks, whether it's for eating or fighting. I'm being completely serious here too. I think the longest time any incubus has gone was about 3 weeks, 6 days, 21 hours, 18 minutes, and 43 seconds, said Hiro, making Hitomi's eyes almost pop out of their head. Holy hell, my daughter is possibly the luckiest girl on the planet. She will practically have a god for a husband, thought Hitomi, actually jealous of her oldest child. Well, I think that's all you need to worry about now. We'll keep in touch, take care now, said Hiro as he led her to the door and out. Flashback end. Sigh, looks like Aniki and I will have to leave soon. I think the villagers are starting to get a little bit too restless, said Naruto to himself. We'll leave soon enough, Otoro. Just as soon as Hinata is well enough for traveling, said Hiro, walking up behind him, handing out a glass of cold water. You've been dipping into my vocabulary again, haven't you? Asked Hiro, chuckling. Was it that obvious? Asked Naruto with a grin. Really? I mean, what 3-year-old can even say the word surreal? Do you even know what it means? Asked Hiro. Nope, I just found it in one of your memories with a similar situation, and it just seemed to fit, said Naruto with his huge grin. I really need to find a way to block my memories from you. I don't want to traumatize you or corrupt you at such a young age, said Hiro, shaking his head. I don't know, I doubt anything I could find would be able to equal what we saw in the Hokage's office the other day, said Naruto, remembering that. Flashback. Hey Sarutobi, I need to take Naruto and Hinata away from the village for a few years. Trust me when I say it would be in their best interest, said Hiro after kicking the door to Sarutobi's office in. By using the secretary and 2 ANBU guards as the handle, he kicked them and they opened the door with their bodies. Who are you, and what do you want with those 2 children? Asked Sarutobi, getting into a defensive stance. Relax, Sarutobi, that's just Hiro. I'm sure you remember me telling you about him, unless you're going senile, of course. Which, with what I've found out, is a distinct possibility, said Naruto, calmly walking in with Hinata on his back. Naruto, I do remember you telling me about the other demon sealed in you, but this can't be him. He has a physical body, said Sarutobi. Kuchios was Naruto's only response. Sarutobi's eyes widened as it became clear to him what they had done. Very well, I'll believe you, but your request to leave the village is denied. We don't know what dangers lurk out there for the too young one. Besides, IWA would still want to kill Naruto if they found out, said Sarutobi. That's not true. Your spy network is truly pitiful if I have to be the one to tell you this years after you should have been told, said Hiro, shaking his head. What are you talking about? Asked Sarutobi, confused. Simple, the Yondaime made a treaty with IWA years ago. In fact, if my vassal is correct, then Naruto actually has a marriage contract with the daughter of the Yondaime Tsukikage. This idea originally belongs to Dracaholo 117. I just like the idea enough to use it. By the way, if you're reading this, I hope you don't mind me using some of your original ideas. I won't do it too often, this is just one that I really liked, said Hiro, stunning everyone in the room, even the hidden ANBU. A marriage contract, said Sarutobi, stuttering. Yup, but you have no need to fear Hinata, for you see, by the time I'm done training my Otoro, he will be in need of numerous mates. I think you will defiantly have a reservation, said Hiro, chuckling at her atomic blush and Naruto's similar color. Aniki, he yelled in embarrassment. Oh, lighten up, Otoro. What's an older brother if he can't tease his younger brother about every little thing, said Hiro before bursting out in laughter. Shut up, Aniki, said Naruto, grumbling. Hiro gained control of himself and looked at Sarutobi straight in the eye with a face that looked like it never even smirked. It scared the aged Hokage that he could put on such a face after just laughing so hard. Now, Sarutobi, I have shot down all your objections, and that means you have no reason to stop us from leaving the village. That being said, we'll see you in about 4 years, when these two turn 7 and can enter the ninja academy. Goodbye, said Hiro, walking away. Wait, Kumo still is fuming about the incident with the ambassador. If they find an unmarked Hyuga, they will take her and turn her into breeding stock, said Sarutobi in a last-ditch effort to at least keep Hinata in the village. Hiro just started laughing, only this laugh held no mirth. It only held a cold, unfeeling cruelty, laced with copious amounts of insanity. Old man, you have the second most powerful being in hell watching, and these two youngsters. You couldn't even handle a weakling like Kyuubi. What makes you think a village weaker than your own can take on a demon that wields even more power? Asked Hiro, looking at Sarutobi straight in the eye. What do you mean, weakling? The Kyuubi is the most powerful demon known to man, said Sarutobi incredulously. Meanwhile, the secretary and ANBU guards had regained consciousness and were listening intently. Okay, old man, let me put things in perspective for you, said Hiro. What do you mean? Asked Sarutobi. Tell me, what class of demon would you assume the Kyuubi to be? Asked Hiro, completely ignoring the question. There is no assuming about it. The Kyuubi is an SSS class demon, said Sarutobi, scowling. What if I told you were wrong? Asked Hiro. I'd say you were lying, said Sarutobi. Well, you are wrong, and so far I have not lied to you, so why would this be any different? Asked Hiro. When Sarutobi failed to answer, Hiro continued. Exactly. Now in hell we class demons just like you humans do. Now the difference is the classes in hell are much more accurate. As you said, Kyuubi is the most powerful demon known to man. Just because you haven't seen a more powerful demon doesn't mean that one doesn't exist, said Hiro, smirking. So what does that make Kyuubi the third strongest? Asked Sarutobi, seeing the logic behind those words. When he said that, though, it caused him to burst out in laughter again, doubled over, holding his ribs. You're killing me, old man. Kyuubi the third strongest. I haven't heard something that rich since Akuma-sama cracked a joke about the fish demons. But back to business, the classing system in hell is very different than in the human world. The classes go like this: E, D, C, 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 B, 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 A, A, S, 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 S. As you probably figured out, E is the lowest while SSS is the highest. To put it in close perspective for you, I am the most powerful SS class demon in hell. In fact, I'm bordering on SSS class. The only SSS class demon in hell is Akuma-sama herself. All the Bijou are lower than the B class, with Kyuubi being the most powerful of them at CC, bordering on B. Shikaku is only a high D class, with the Sanbai bordering C class. Are you starting to get the picture? The Bijou come and live in the human world for one reason only, so they can feel superior. In hell they're constantly harassed and tormented. But what really makes it a big blow to their pride is they're being taunted by demons no bigger than a human yet still stronger than them, said Hiro with a feral grin. Why are some of the classes double-lettered? Asked Sarutobi after absorbing this. They are for those stronger than the single class letter but still too weak to be considered in the next class. Hell SSS class was only recently created. In fact, it was around the time I took the throne, said Hiro. What do you mean, demon? Asked one of the ANBU. He was quickly turned into a blood splatter on the floor and walls. You shall never speak to Hiro-sama like that. He is the most powerful being in all of hell and will take the throne from that undeserving bitch. Akuma team, shouted a young incubus with pure rage flaring in his eyes. Stand down, Akio. I know you hate me being disrespected, but we must remain inconspicuous. Until I can find a way to harmlessly sever the seal connecting me to the boy and return to hell, we must blend in. Now retract your wings and tail. I need you to go to the village of Kiri next after you report anyways, said Hiro calmly, completely disregarding the fact that he was covered in blood. Of course, sire. Please forgive my insolence. As retribution I shall take 10,000 lashings with a fire whip, said Akio, making all the occupants in the room, sans Hiro, grow wide-eyed at his self-induced punishment. Don't. If you feel the need to punish yourself, at least make it reasonable, like 10 lashes. I don't want to seem like a cruel or uncaring leader. And use a regular whip this time. The fire whip takes you out for far too long, said Hiro. As you wish, sire, said Akio. Now then, your report on Kumo, asked Hiro. Of course, the Reikage is furious that his ambassador was killed, but claims there were no plans to kidnap the Hyuga heiress. I did some digging on his council of elders though and struck pay dirt. It seems that they were planning on using the continued war to kill off the Reikage and assume control of the entire village themselves. Then they would use the heiress for both breeding stock and experiments. The second she would have had a boy, though, they would have killed her and used her eggs for test tube babies, and the boy when of proper age as a baby factory, said Akio quickly before disappearing to punish himself and go do the job he was told to. Hinata could be seen clutching Naruto for dear life, thanking Kami he was there when he was. She was shaking and almost in tears at the mere thought of that happening to her. Hinata, I know it seems bad, but you're safe and we will never let them kill you, said Sarutobi, placating after noticing her shaking. So you're saying you would let them rape me until they got a boy, she said, clutching Naruto tighter as if trying to absorb herself into him. She was so scared and angry she didn't even realize she didn't stutter. What? No, that's not what I meant, said Sarutobi, his eyes wide. But that's what you said. You really are a worthless bastard, Sarutobi. Just because we're young doesn't mean we don't know what you're talking about. Hinata-chan told me her father planned on using her as breeding stock when she got older. I looked through Hiro's memories to find out what it meant, and when I found out I told her, said Naruto, glaring at Sarutobi so intensely it seemed as if Minato was standing there instead of his 3-year-old son. That boy truly will surpass his father if he can give an aura like this at 3, thought Sarutobi, sweating. How do you even know what rape is, Naruto? He asked. It's happened to me enough times, said Naruto with a shrug of his shoulders while holding Hinata. That sentence made everyone turn a deep shade of green. Hinata finally burst into tears and cried. She cried for him again while he held her close, just like on the night they met. Naruto, tell me who did it. I will have them killed. Publicly and in the most humiliating way possible, said Sarutobi, his hat shadowing his eyes. I can't, simply for 2 reasons. The first is I don't know who they are, said Naruto. And the second, asked Sarutobi, barely containing his anger. I want to kill them myself, he replied. But you said you didn't know who they are. Now which is it, roared Sarutobi. I may not, but Aniki does. He says when I'm strong enough, he'll tell me. You should be glad it's only about 20 people that hurt me like that. If I really wanted to, I could say that I would kill everybody that hurt me in the past, said Naruto. Then why don't you, ask Sarutobi? Then I would kill off almost the entire village, and I didn't know you were so eager to die, Sarutobi, said Naruto. How dare you disrespect the Hokage like that, demon child? We should have killed you when we had the chance, said the other ANBU. Let me take care of him, Otoro, said Hiro before taking his pinky finger and flicking the head of the ANBU. Now when you apply the strength of a demon to a flick, the usual effect would be the head would go flying. In this case the head was nothing more than a splatter of blood on the floor. Even Kyuubi would have needed a punch to do that in human form. It was a true testament to the gap in power. Naruto, just how many would be alive after you were finished killing all those that hurt you, asked Sarutobi, dreading the answer but still needing to know. Well, the only ones left alive would be Hinata Hyuga, Hitomi Hyuga and her unborn daughter, Anko Mitarashi, Kurenai Yuhi, the Ikarakus, Nico, Mikoto Uchiha, and her daughter Okami Uchiha, Femitachi, Mato Gai, Rock Lee, Dr. Fukaze, and OC Naruto's personal doctor. only happened after his second birthday. Arikyomi, OC Naruto's personal nurse, and the Higurashi family, Tentans. Other than those 17 people, the rest would die, said Naruto, making Sarutobi pale. It wasn't most of the village. There would be no village by the time he was done. Naruto, please tell me, what have my children done that could warrant this? Asked Sarutobi. Absolutely nothing, said Naruto. Then why are you killing them? Asked Sarutobi incredulously. Because they did nothing. They treated me nice when you were around, but when they passed me in the streets when I was being beaten, they did nothing, said Naruto. When good men do nothing, it's evil enough, said Hiro as Sarutobi's eyes widened. Take them, I can't beat you. Either verbally or physically I lose. I guess I should just take you asking me as a sign of respect, said Sarutobi sadly. Wrong, it's respect for the position. You personally, I have no respect for, and I can guarantee my Otuto and Hinata are of the same opinion, said Hiro, getting nods from the two youngsters. They just walk out of the office, leaving a crying Sarutobi to himself. He knew he failed on so many levels, but what hurt the most is losing the respect of the boy he thought of as a grandson. He didn't even have the energy to pick up his pen and complete that day's paperwork. So he just sat there weeping for his own stupidity, and the loss of a person he knew he would never get back. Flashback end. Come on, Otuto, we need to get going, said Hiro with a backpack on and Hinata at his side. Right, let's go, said Naruto, turning his back on the only place he called home, but only because it was the only place he ever knew. With each step it seemed as if a weight was lifting off his chest, and for the first time since he was just a baby he smiled a true smile. It has been 3 months since Naruto, Hinata, and Hiro left Konoha. Unbeknown to everybody though, Hiro has been keeping tabs on Hitomi, and the Hyuga in general. He felt an unusual draw to her, and knew something bad was going to happen. Right now though, he was training Naruto in control so he can learn the Incubi fighting style, the Anakin, Demon Fist. No, you need a lighter touch. The true power of this fighting style isn't in the muscle. It's in the initial contact. Think of it this way, a spider is considered one of the most deadly creatures on the planet. Not because it has insane amounts of power, but because it has a light touch. You won't even know you've been attacked until after the poison starts to take effect, said Hiro, as he tried to help Naruto. Like this, sensei, he asked as he lightened his touch to the point of almost absolutely nothing. Yes, that's it exactly. This style is meant to be fast and precise. The true power from it though is that even though it uses such a small force it causes massive damage. This is because the speed we use removes the problem of first impact, said Hiro in delight as Naruto was doing it perfectly. What do you mean by first impact, he asked as he stopped to take a drink of water. To put it simply, when you hit something you technically hit it twice, and this is complete bullshit. I just made this up for the sake of the story. If it is true then kick ass, but we don't know if it is. The first impact is from the forced deceleration or stopping really fast, and the second is what really causes the damage because that is when the muscle transfers all its force into the object being it. For example, if a Jonin were to hit a rock he would only crack it and most likely break his knuckles, but if you were to use the Anakin the rock would be turned into dust and you would be unharmed, said Hiro with a smirk. Stars shined in Naruto's eyes as he got back to work with increased vigor, causing Hiro to chuckle. I'm Hiro-san, asked Hinata in a quiet voice. Yes, Hinata-chan, he said. I noticed that the Anakin is similar to my family's style, the Jukin. I'm wondering if you could teach me as well, asked Hinata as she tried and succeeded in not stuttering. Just as Hiro was about to answer, a plume of smoke and fire erupted beside him. Hiro-sama, I have urgent news, said one of the incubi under his command. Report, replied Hiro in an authoritative tone that sounded nothing like the kind big brother figure Hinata and Naruto had come to know. It pains me to say this, but Hyuga Hitomi has died. The records say it was from complications due to childbirth, but after some digging I found she was actually poisoned by Hayashi and the Hyuga elders soon after giving birth, said the incubus, trembling in fear of the killing intent rolling off Hiro in waves. Bring me her body as well as her newborn child. However, make it look as if the child was killed by an eagle. After you do that you are to report back to me with both of them intact, he said in a dangerously calm voice, putting special emphasis on the last word. Of course, sire. But why an eagle, asked the incubus. The eagle is the summon animal of the Hyuga, so this will add salt and lemon juice to the wound, said Hiro with an evil smirk. The incubus nodded and left just as quickly as he came. Just as Hiro turned to answer Hinata's question, what she heard finally sunk in, and she began weeping. Naruto stopped training and rushed over to her to comfort her. Why did my Ka-chan have to die?" was all she could say in her grief. "I don't know, Hinata-chan. But I'm sure Hiro Aniki has a plan," said Naruto comfortingly. "He's right, Hinata-chan, I do. Though she may be dead now, she won't stay that way for long. At least not if I have anything to say about it," he said, unfurling his wings and tail. Just as he finished, the incubus returned with both Hitomi and her daughter Hanabi. "Here they are, sire. I will take my leave now," said the incubus as he left in a swift manner. "Good, now all I have to do is bring her back and all will be well," said Hiro with a smirk. "How?" asked Hinata. "Like this, Shinigami, get your lazy ass down here now," he shouted to the heavens. Both children's sweat dropped at this. Does he actually think that would work? They both thought at the same time. But to their astonishment, a dark swirl appeared in front of him, and out floated the Shinigami. "What do you want, incubus? I have a quota to fill today and I only need 2 more souls," said Shinigami in an irritated voice. "How about a deal then? I give you 3 souls and you give me 1 in return," said Hiro with an evil smirk. "Fine by me. Who do you want?" asked Shinigami, glad to have found a potential reprieve. "A woman formerly known as Hyuga Hitomi. Her clan has betrayed her by killing her. In return for her soul returning to its body, I'll actually give you 5 souls plus 1 to replace her," said Hiro, his smirk widening. Shinigami's eyes widened at the thought. Those extra souls would mean his quota for the next day would be that much less. "Deal, you get me those souls and I'll return the woman back to life. In perfect condition, I might add," said Shinigami happily. "Alright, I'll be back in a second," he replied. With that, he phased out of existence, only to return a second later with 6 live shinobi with him. 4 of them were from Kumo, and the other 2 were from Kiri. "It's done, she will wake up in about 5 minutes," said Shinigami. "Okay, open your gullet, and I'll feed you these souls," replied Hiro. Before any of them could move, he hit each of them with a single strike from the Anakin right to the chest, splattering their entire bodies into a bloody smear. "Pleasure doing business with you, incubus. I hope to do it again sometime," said Shinigami with a smirk that went a mile wide. "The pleasure is all mine, Shinigami-san. For now, though, I bid you adieu," said Hiro as he picked up Hitomi bridal style and Hinata picked up Hanabi. The group moved to a cleaner spot, so the first thing Hitomi saw when she woke up wasn't a gory mess. The 5 minutes came and went like a bolt of lightning. Soon she was groaning and fluttering her eyes. "Welcome back to the world of the living, Hitomi-chan," said Hiro as he helped her sit up. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice raspy from her throat being dry. "Don't try to talk too much. And drink this," he said, handing her a water skin. "Think a leather pouch that is specifically made to hold liquid." "Thank you," she said gratefully as she gulped half of its contents in 2 gulps. "Now what I meant was you were dead for about 3 hours. I made a deal with Shinigami to bring you back, so welcome back," he said. "Wait, what about Hanabi-chan? I can't leave her with the clan. I checked out what you told me, and they denied nothing. If she is left with them, she will die from their beatings," said Hitomi in a panic as she tried to get up to get to her baby. "You have no need to worry, Hitomi-chan. Hanabi is here with us. Right now Hinata-chan and Naruto are playing with her," said Hiro placatingly. "But what about?" she started, only to be cut off. "They think she is dead, thanks to a plan from me. They won't even know she exists now until we return to Konoha in a few years," said Hiro. "Why are you helping us?" she asked curiously. "In all honesty, I don't know. What I do know is I feel drawn to you for some reason. I help your first daughter because she has fallen head over heels for my Otuto, just like he has for her. I help your youngest daughter because what kind of demon lord would I be if I left a defenseless child with an abusive clan?" said Hiro with a small smile. "What does you being a demon lord have to do with helping my child?" she asked. "In hell there is not a single demon that would willingly raise a hand to harm a child. In hell, children are considered a precious commodity. It is the greatest dream of every demon to become parents and rear a child of their own. To the demon lords it is even greater, for they will go out of their way to save a child from any pain," said Hiro with a distant look in his eyes. Before he could say anything else, Hitomi latched her arms around his neck and smothered him in a yes. "Please," she said. "Please what?" he asked, confused. "Please help me raise Hanabi. Please become her father and my husband," she said quietly, almost as if afraid of his response. "Now why wouldn't I do that?" he said, smirking at the look on her face. "Even though you just met me?" she asked with tears of joy. The same could be said of you to me, he replied. True, but you're everything I ever wanted in a man. You're kind, strong, compassionate, protective, and willing to help out complete strangers, she said as she nuzzled her head into his chest. Yuka-chan is getting cooties from Hiro Aniki, said Hinata with a smile on her face. Oh, and you aren't every time you snuggle Naruto-kun for comfort, she shot back with a devious smile. THTH, that's different, yelled Hinata as an atomic blush appeared on her face. No, it isn't, said Hitomi, her smile widening. Hiro just chuckled at the mother-daughter interaction. Hinata, to answer your question from earlier, yes, I will teach you the Oniken, but now you and Naruto will learn both the Juken and Oniken. Hanabi will learn them as well when she reaches the appropriate age. Now rest up, you two, for tomorrow we start training in earnest. Meaning you two are in for boot camp hell, said Hiro with a smirk that would make even Akuma tremble in fear. 1 year and 3 months later. Things were going perfectly for the gang. Naruto and Hinata were progressing at an unbelievable pace at both Juken and Oniken. Both of them could now hold a 2-on-1 spar versus Hiro and make him use one of his arms to defend himself. Hanabi was growing rapidly and even started learning to speak. She could only say tu, ka and fufu, but she was learning. Hiro and Hitomi made it half a year ago, turning Hitomi into a half-demon. Her hair was now completely white, and her eyes took on an even deeper shade of lavender. In Hinata's training she was excelling in taijutsu, weapon throwing, stealth, reconnaissance, and chakra control. They had yet to broach nin or genjutsu. Naruto, however, excelled in taijutsu, close quarters weapons, throwing weapons, stealth, and reconnaissance. Very good, you two. I'm proud to say that from this point on we will start working on ninjutsu and genjutsu. I will help you with the genjutsu and elemental manipulation needed for your ninjutsu. Hitomi-chan will assist you with the control needed for the genjutsu and the ninjutsu. Also, we will soon be arriving at IWA to meet the Tsukikage, said Hiro happily. Why are we stopping at IWA? Aniki asked Naruto curiously. There are 2 reasons. Firstly, they may have an idea where your mother is. Secondly, you need to meet one of your brides, said Hiro, smirking at the last part. What? Yelled Naruto. Relax, Otuto. Being both part incubus and the last of your clan, you will need a lot of wives. You already have Hinata and probably Hanabi if the way she squeals whenever you hold her is an indication, said Hiro, shaking his head. Just as he was about to start walking again, they all heard a battle cry. Die, demon filth. Hiro stepped to the side just as a blade came crashing down. He looks at the person with bored eyes as if she wasn't even worthy of his attention. Hold still and fight me like a man, you disgusting demon, she said, venom lacing her voice. I have a name, you know. If you wish to speak with me, then use it. My name is Ichiro Hiro. Now may I inquire what your name is, he asked with a raised brow. My name is Asami, she said grudgingly. No surname, he asked curiously. No, not since you filthy demons killed my entire clan. We were happy and prosperous, we never killed needlessly. But then one night your kind came in and killed every last man, woman, and child, she said, tears of anger and grief flowing down her face. Damn you, Akuma. I knew you were corrupt, but I never knew it went this far, thought Hiro, radiating killer intent. Listen to me, Asami-san. Those demons were not doing that under their own volition. Akuma is a corrupt bitch, and until now I never knew just how corrupt. Next thing I know, she will sell out all of hell just to gain a little bit of power. Remember this, for it will be important, said Hiro as he dodged another wild swing. Lies, why should I believe a demon? I used to think you were just misunderstood, but now I know the truth. You are all evil beings that have no morals, and I will eliminate you from this plane of existence, she said as she charged again. She kept trying to slice Hiro into tiny bits, but he was always one step ahead of her. She kept getting sloppier and sloppier as she tired out. Finally, Hiro saw the perfect opening. He moved with a speed and grace none of them had ever seen before. In an instant he was in front of Asami, and with a simple twitch of his wrist she was sent flying into a tree, cracking it in half. Well, looks like the fabled demon huntress is just a waste of money. Oh well, hey boys, think we can get our money's worth out of her in a different way, said a man in a lecherous way with an Inu mask that had the kanji for root on the forehead. Before any of them could respond, Hiro appeared in front of them, and then back where he started. He snapped his fingers once, and in that instant all of them imploded on themselves. I hate rapists, said Hiro with a scowl. He walked up to Asami, and by some miracle she was still conscious. Are you going to kill me now? She said, a defeated look in her eyes. No, we're going to heal you, said Hiro as he gently picked her up and took her over to Hitomi. Why are you helping me? I tried to kill you, she asked in confusion. You are simply misguided. Spend some time with us, and you will see you were right at first. Most demons are misunderstood. Hell, the only ones that are truly evil would happen to be 7 of the 9 Bija and Akuma, said Hiro with a shrug. Who are the 2 that aren't evil? Asked Naruto curiously. The Sanbai, or Aimi as she prefers to be called, and the Niabai, or Junko as she likes to be called, said Hiro sadly. Why are you sad, Hiro-kun? asked Hitomi. I'm just remembering that a few hundred years ago those 2 and I had a little fling. That was until Akuma team forbid any demon-to-demon relations. Both are sealed now and I would like to help them if at all possible. At least for the sake of comradeship, he said, a glint of determination in his eyes. Okay, I don't know why, but I'm really turned on right now, said Asami. Did you happen to do any research on incubi before you took this mission? asked Hiro with a smirk. No, said Asami, blushing in embarrassment as Hiro chuckled. Okay, I'll tell you the reason. You just chose a filthy demon for a husband, he said, making everyone's eyes widen. What? She yelled in alarm. Simple, for any seduction, demon courting rituals only last about 20 to 30 minutes. In the unusual event they take longer, it's usually because the relationship will be that much better for it. Hell, it took Naruto and Hinata about 3 days to complete courting. For someone who only has minimal amounts of demonic chakra flowing through his coils, that's way too long to be normal. Even 1 out of 100 seduction demons finish courting in about 24 hours, said Hiro, shocking everyone. So I'm pretty much stuck with you, said Asami. No, you just have an option in me. If you choose, you could walk away right now and be no different, said Hiro with a shrug. And if I accept? She asked curiously. We will mate, you will become a Hanyu like Hitomi-chan, and you will be treated like a queen among queens, said Hiro happily. I'll travel with you for a little while to see if what you say is true. If I like what I see, I'll mate with you, she said with a blush at the last part. That's all we asked, said Hitomi, surprising Asami at her being so accepting. But aren't you? She began, only to be cut off. Yes, but I also understand that an incubus cannot live off of one woman alone. They have ravenous appetites that cannot be sated without killing the woman from exhaustion in the process, said Hitomi with a smile. God was the only thought that went through Asami's head. 3 days later in IWA. It's nice to finally meet you, Tsukikage-san, said Hiro as their group entered her room in the tower. And you would be who exactly? She asked with venom lacing her voice at his disrespect. It's proper manners to introduce yourself first before asking for someone's name. For example, my name is Ichiro Hiro, and what would you be called, my dear? He said with a smirk. Fine, my name is Hanako Gina, and all your names would be? She asked. I am Ichiro Hitomi, said Hitomi with a slight bow. I am Ichiro Asami, said Asami, bowing like Hitomi. And sorry guys, no lemons yet. They will be in later, but for now they will just be limes, implied. I am Hinata, said Hinata, bowing as low as she could. This is Hanabi, she said, indicating her sister in her arms. I am Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto, said Naruto without breaking eye contact. She started, only to be cut off by a yell of Namikaze scum. As the yell resounded throughout the room, a Chunin made himself known as he charged Naruto with a kunai raised. Naruto looked to Hiro, who said only one thing. Do it. With those words, Naruto rushed forward at a speed that shouldn't have been possible for his age. The Chunin was so stunned that he never pulled himself together in time to block the strike, not that it would have mattered. Naruto hit him with the Anakin right in the center of the chest. Everyone heard the snapping of ribs and the sound of flesh being torn to shreds. By the time it was over, the Chunin fell on his back dead in under 3 seconds. Hiro just shook his head and looked Naruto dead in the eye. You hesitated, he said, startling everyone there. You call that hesitating? Asked the Tsukikage incredulously. Yes, as well as pulling a punch, he responded, further startling the Tsukikage. How? She asked in awe. Simply put, with his proficiency he should have been able to make that idiot's entire upper body into a bloody pulpy smear on the floor, said Hiro as understanding dawned on everyone except for the Tsukikage. What do you mean? She asked. Simply put, started Hiro as he gave her the same explanation he gave Naruto over a year ago. How do you know a taijutsu? Only used by demons? She asked, her brow raised. Simple, I am one, he said with a smirk as he unfolded his wings. I see, she said, seeming to accept what he said at face value. You don't seem to be afraid, he said with a raised brow. I figure if you wanted to cause me harm you would have already, she said with a smile. Hiro smirked at this. Much smarter than the Hokage, he commented, making her blush slightly. So why did you come here, she asked. Firstly, is the contract between your daughter and Naruto still valid, he asked, making Naruto blush. Yes it is, I'll call her. Hanako Harumi, get your ass in here pronto, she yelled. Almost as if summoned a mini-me of the Tsukikage appeared. Yes, Ka-san, what did you need me for, she asked as soon as she appeared. She had her mother's piercing green eyes and red hair. She looked to be about 5 years old, and with almost as much energy as Naruto. Meet your future husband Naruto, she said, pointing at him. The second she said that, Naruto was tackle-glomped to the ground. Hi, I'm Harumi. Do you like ramen? What about bread? How old are you? How strong are you? Have you ever killed anybody yet? Am I talking too much? My Ka-san says that when I get going I never seem to stop. Do you think I'm pretty? Hey, who is that girl with the lavender eyes holding the baby? Is she your girlfriend? Is that baby yours? She's so cute, can I hold her? Oh, look shiny, she said, all in under 20 seconds. I am Naruto. I love ramen. Bread is pretty good. I'm about 4 3/4 years old. I'm pretty strong but nowhere near as strong as Hiro Aniki. I have killed one person, he is the dead body in the room. Yes, I think you're pretty. All I would ask is you slow down. That girl is Hinata. Yes, she is my girlfriend and future mate. No, the baby is not ours. It's actually her little sister, and you would have to ask her mother if it's okay to hold her, said Naruto slowly. So I assume she will be joining you on your trip back to Konoha, said Gina hopefully. Yes, but we won't be leaving for that cesspool just yet, said Hiro with so much venom in his voice Gina was surprised everyone was still alive. Why, she asked curiously. Our second reason for being here. Do you have any knowledge of where Uzumaki Kushina may be, he said. That wasn't why I was asking why, but she should be in Yuzu no Kuni, she said. Thank you. As to why I called Konoha a cesspool. Otuto, show them. Oh, and you may want to grab a waste basket, said Hiro, to which Naruto hopped to and removed his shirt. The second he did, Gina understood why Hiro said to grab a waste basket. She only just held in her vomit until she got the waste basket, where she unloaded the contents of her stomach several times. Harumi, on the other hand, wasn't as fortunate as her mother, and vomited 3 inches from the other waste basket. Both were appalled by the damage done to his body. The scars and brandings made them weep after they could vomit no more. How? Why? He should have been treated like royalty, said Gina after she found her voice. His true identity was kept hidden. His mother was told he was dead. Villagers never looked past the whiskers. Hell, if he were to take revenge on everybody that hurt him, there would only be 17 people left alive, said Hiro as Naruto put his shirt back on. Gina listened, and the more he spoke the more enraged she became, until she finally came to a decision. Kitsune, she yelled with all the authority she could muster. A woman wearing the IWA version of the Konoha A&B uniform, she wore a mask of a kitsune. Yes, Tsukikage-sama, she said, bowing on one knee. You are to report to Konoha and tell them that the alliance between our 2 villages is ended. Now the only Konoha citizen we give any trust and loyalty to is Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. When you return, I want you to do a purge. Find each and every shinobi under my command and the councils that holds a grudge against the Namikaze clan and kill them, said Gina with such force that all Kitsune could do was nod her head. You do realize most of Konoha will hate you now, right? Asked Hiro with a smirk. They don't deserve such a gift as young Naruto. Why does he continue to fight for them even after all they did to hurt him? She asked as the group left her office. Do you want my honest opinion? Gina nods. I think he does it to make sure he doesn't let his old man down, even though he's probably rolling in his grave. Minato wanted him to be seen as a hero, but they treated him like a demon. He will probably find some way to make his father's last wish come true. Hell, the kid seems to do the impossible every day. He has chakra stores that put most Chunin to shame and control that makes Medic Nin look sloppy. He has the power to change hearts, just by being in your presence. My second wife Asami tried to kill me when we first met 3 days ago. She was a demon huntress, and so as nature dictated we battled. However, after I beat her, she joined us for a few days to see if it would be worth it. She spoke with everyone except me, and no matter what was said she didn't change her mind. Until she spoke with Naruto, He somehow in a few short words changed her entire outlook on demons and humans. He showed her that humans can be just as bad if not outright worse than demons. It's a power that only he can wield to any extent, but it will be invaluable in the future. Even you had succumbed to this seemingly built-in power, for in a few short minutes you were practically ready to march off to war for his sake. He is truly the one described in lore, said Hiro as he walked out, leaving a stunned Sucuubi to mull over his words. He's right, in every word he's right, she said to herself. 5 days later in Konoha. Hokage-sama, there's a messenger from IWA that wishes to speak with you. She says it is of the utmost importance, and to deny her is to bring the wrath of the Sucuubi on Konoha, said a random Chunin guard. Send her in, said Sarutobi tiredly. Greetings, Hokage-sama. I bring you news from the Sucuubi, said Kitsune. And what news would that be, he asked, already feeling a headache coming on. In all honesty, I think this should be told before the full council, she said. Sarutobi just sighed and went to gather the council. Council chamber 15 minutes later. All right, Sarutobi, what did you call us for this time, asked Hamura, one of the elders and Sarutobi's old teammate. I have been wondering about that myself, said Sarutobi. What you mean you don't know why you called a council meeting, said Koharu, his other ex-teammate. Simple, it wasn't me who requested the meeting, it was her, said Sarutobi, pointing at Kitsune. So what is so important that you needed us all to hear it, wench, asked Uchiha Fugaku. Simply this, the alliance between Konoha and IWA is no more. Now we are allied only to the last Namikaze, said Kitsune before she walked out the doors, leaving a stunned council and a trembling Sarutobi. Oh, we are so Ed, he thought to himself. Who is the last Namikaze? We must find him and bring him here. He must be treated like a prince, said Danzo in alarm. It's too late to do that. Actually, about 5 years too late this October 10th, said Sarutobi, rubbing his temples. Why is that? Who is he, asked Hayashi. He wanted to protect the son of his best friend and former teammate. He would do anything to make sure that happened. The reason it's too late is you have abused for the better part of half a decade. His full name is Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto, said Sarutobi as all of their eyes widened. You mean the demon brat, spat Fugaku. Oh Kami, how could I have been so blind, said Hayashi as he fell to his knees and wept, and all will be made clear in due time. What do you mean, Hyuga-sama, asked some curiously. Naruto is like a mini-me clone of Minato, and who else would he have chosen to hold the Kyuubi? He always said a good leader commands his troops perfectly in battle. A great leader is right there with his troops, and still leading them perfectly, said Hayashi, as realization dawned on everyone in the room. Narashikaku was the first one to regain his voice, and he spoke the words that summed up everybody's thoughts perfectly. We are royally Ed when he gets back. In Yuzuno Kuni at that same time, Naruto and the gang were searching for any trace that Kushina might have been there recently. Harumi had taken Naruto's words to heart, and slowed down her talking to the point where you could now answer each question as it was asked. Right now she was chatting with Hinata and getting to know both her and Hanabi better. Hanabi's vocabulary had also grown, she could now say nay and ai. Just as they were about to set up camp for the night, a figure charged them. Why must you Konoha nin track me back to this desolate land? Can't I just die in peace to see my Minato koi and Sochi, said the woman as she charged them with a katana. Akushina-san, if you would slow down your swings just a little bit, I can show you that not all hope is lost, said Hiro as he dodged numerous sword swings from the enraged redhead. How is hope not lost, she asked, tears falling down her face. Your Sochi is alive, he yelled. She stopped mid-swing. How, she asked, her eyes wide with hope. Sarutobi lied to you. He was alive all along, and unfortunately he only recently came into my care, said Hiro, making Kushina scowl. And why is it unfortunate that he came into your care, she asked, venom lacing her voice. I'm not saying that about him, just the timing. I wish it had been years earlier, he replied sadly. What happened to my Sochi, she asked. He became a man at the age of 3, from hatred and malice. He came all this way just to see you, because even after all the shit he had to live with, he wanted to show you he was still alive, he said, motioning for Naruto to come over. My Sochi, you look just like your father, she said as she rushed in and enveloped him in a hug so fierce it would have broken even Uchiha Madara's heart. It's all right, Ka-chan. I'm alive and now we're together, said Naruto with happy tears running down his face. Who are you? You took care of my Sochi and went so far as to bring him to me all the way out here with 3 Hyuga, the daughter of the Tsukikage, and from what I can tell a demon huntress, asked Kushina. I am his honorary Aniki Ichiro hero, and with me are my 2 wives Ichiro Hitomi with her daughters Hinata and Hanabi, and Ichiro Asami. Hitomi, Hinata, and Hanabi are formerly of the Hyuga clan, said Hiro. How did you get permission for them to leave the clan? And I thought Hitomi was married to Hayashi, asked Kushina curiously. Well, it all started, and with that Hiro told her the entire story. From his being a demon to their whole training journey. Needless to say, she was stunned. I will skin those bastards alive when I get back there, starting with Sarutobi, she said, sharpening her blade as she spoke. With said dead man walking. In his office, Sarutobi had 3 things happen at once. First, his favorite tea mug shattered into 1,000 pieces, while just sitting on his desk. Second, a huge tremor shook his entire body. Thirdly, he sneezed so forcefully he was actually rocketed out of his chair. Someone wants to kill me in a slow, painful, and humiliating way. Please, Kami-sama, let it be Orochimaru and not Kushina, prayed Sarutobi. Back with the gang. So what do we do now? Head to Konoha, asked Harumi. No, we still have a little less than 2.5 years of training before we return. By that time I intend to make all of you powerful enough that you can at least take out the Sanbai without any assistance, said Hiro, his evil smirk back in place. Welcome to boot camp hell, said Naruto and Hinata in unison as they hung their heads in exhaustion. Konoha 2.5 years later. A group of 8 people all wearing black cloaks approached the gates to the village. The leader of the group had an almost cocky swagger to his step and a grin on his face that would scare the living shit out of anything. Not that you could see his grin. All 8 had their hoods drawn up to cover their faces. They stopped at the gate and presented their papers and continued on without a word. The leader bent down and scooped up the smallest member of their party and set her on his shoulders. Yeitu-chan is giving me a ride, said the girl happily as she clung to his head. He just chuckled, as did everyone else. Then they seemed to disappear in a flash of fire. Hokage Tower. Barely a minute later, the group flashed back into existence in front of the Hokage. Who are you? Identify yourselves or die, he said as he drew a hidden kunai. This just caused the group to chuckle, even the little girl on the leader's shoulders. Now Sarutobi, is that really any way to talk to someone after you owe them a whole shitload, said one of the figures as he dropped his hood to reveal Naruto. Oh Kami, you're back, he said, tears running down his face as the others removed their hoods. Yes Sarutobi, we're back, and I'm sure that we're not going to leave for a long time, said Hiro as a 3-year-old Hanabi smiled and clung to him like glue. Sarutobi let his jaw drop the instant he saw Naruto and Hiro. Hiro had an arrogant smirk on his face, and Naruto had an almost exact copy. What stunned him the most, however, was Hitomi standing there alive as he was. Also what appeared to be a younger version of either herself or Hinata. Okay, you have to tell me what the hell you have been up to since you left, said Sarutobi. You want it short and sweet, or long and bloody, asked Naruto. The long version, edited so as not to traumatize the little ones, said Sarutobi with a worried glance towards Hanabi. Traumatize her? Not possible, old man. She has been my daughter for a little over 3 years now, so I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, nothing I would say could ever traumatize her, said Hiro. Sarutobi just raised a brow and motioned to continue. Alright, after we left those 4 years ago, I started training Naruto in the art of the Oniken, the Incubi fighting style. He picked it up at a prodigious rate, faster than anybody I had ever seen. After a few months on the road, a messenger appeared to me. I had sent him to keep an eye on Hitomi because I didn't trust the Hyuga. It turns out I was right to do so because they poisoned her after she gave birth to little Hana-chan. Here he started, indicating Hanabi, who just smiled wider at her father. Sarutobi nodded, interested in what he was going to say next. Well, I had the messenger bring me the body and make it look like an animal killed Hanabi. I then called on the Shinigami. When the lazy bastard got there, I offered him a deal, a few souls to bring Hitomi back to life. He jumped at it. Even brought her back in perfect condition, he continued with a smirk as Hitomi got a light blush. Wait, does that mean, started Sarutobi. Yes, she was a virgin again. But after she arrived, we taught them the Juken as well. We traveled around until we were attacked by a demon huntress. That would be Asami here, he said, pointing her out. She smiled at Sarutobi with a venomous glint in her eye that made a shiver run down his spine. I suggest you start pulling your weight and watch after Naruto better, or you will have my favorite sides shoved up your ass. Blade first, she said, making him start to sweat. Now Asami-chan, There's no need to threaten the incompetent weak as hell bureaucrat. But on with the story. About 3 days later we arrived in Iwa and met the Tsukikage. She gave us directions to Yuzu no Kuni so we could track down Kushina for Naruto. Before we left she was told Naruto's story along with her daughter Harumi, and they, as you know, killed the alliance between the villages. While we were still in her office, a Chunin attacked Naruto, but he killed him in a single stroke. After that we left and found Kushina. Once we found her we continued training until we came back, said Hiro with a smirk. Naruto killed, asked Sarutobi incredulously. Yes, he killed, as have Hinata and Harumi. They will be shinobi, so they need to learn how to deal with death. Once they got over their first kill they train even harder than before, said Hitomi, happily hugging all 3 of them. Little Hana-chan tried to keep up with her Nei-chan and Narukuin. She ended up exhausting herself before half the day was done, and fell asleep, said Asami ing, the little girl on her cheek. She just giggled happily, hugging her from Hiro's shoulders. Oh, and that doesn't even compare to the fun we had with the daimyos, said Hiro evilly. Do I even want to ask, asked Sarutobi. No, but we're going to tell you anyway, said Hitomi. Flashback. Hiro, Naruto, Hitomi, Asami, Hinata, Harumi, and Hanabi entered the daimyo's chamber with smiles on their faces. What do you want? I'm a very busy man, asked the daimyo in a condescending voice. No busier than I am. But I will admit you do half-ass your job, so it probably takes you longer to settle problems, said Hiro, intending to make the daimyo angry. It worked. You insolent boy. How dare you insult me like that? I could have you and your compatriots executed on the spot, he replied in fury. If you even tried you would lose over half of your samurai, and all of our respect, said Naruto. Oh, and why is that, he asked in mock fear. Because you're speaking to one with equal status, but several hundred times the power, said Hitomi as she had Hiro on the cheek. How so? I have met every daimyo from the other countries, and none of them had an insolent child as either the daimyo or an heir, said the daimyo. Who said I ruled such a weak entity such as the elemental nations? No, my rule is from a plane of infinitely more powerful beings, said Hiro. Where your imagination, asked the daimyo with a smirk. No hell, shouted Hiro as he spread his wings and revealed his fangs. At his shout 20 incubi arrived in gouts of flame, brandishing their foot-long claws and growling in an animalistic way. The daimyo in fear fell off his throne, sputtering. What do you want, he asked. Immunity from the Konoha Council. They will try everything to control my Otuto, and I want him to be exempt from their clutches. Plus I have a few plans for a certain treacherous clan that will soon be non-existent, said Hiro with a feral smile. You want it? It's yours, just leave me alive, he cowered. Good, we'll be gone now, said Hiro as he flashed them out of the room. Flashback end. And that is what we did with the daimyos, said Hiro. That, and after we trained the kids into the ground, said Asami with a wicked smile on her face. What would you gauge their strength to be at, asked Sarutobi. Hanabi is roughly at a high genin. Harumi is about a high to low jonin. And Naruto and Hinata are about high jonin to low sanin, said Hiro, making Sarutobi's eyes widen to ridiculous levels. How the hell did you do that, he shouted in disbelief. Boot camp hell, yelled Hanabi happily, making Sarutobi's jaw drop at such a young child using such foul language. He was even more stunned that no one reprimanded her. Hiro read the look on his face and decided to answer before he said anything. She is essentially the child of a demon lord. We have different ideas on acceptable things. Language isn't something we worry about, nor is violence. Words can't hurt anybody, and she has control over her temper. You know, it always made me curious as to why humans worry about words more than actions. I mean, it's just a ing word. It doesn't do anything other than, well, nothing, said Hiro, making Sarutobi stop and think. He tried to come up with an argument to refute what Hiro said but found none. Point taken. But what about Asami and Hitomi? What would you gauge their strength at, asked Sarutobi. Both could take on a single one of the Sannin and beat them to a draw, said Hiro, smirking. I'm getting too old for this shit. Do you want me to just graduate them or something, making them so powerful, so young, mumbled Sarutobi under his breath, but still loud enough for Hiro to hear. No, we want them to socialize with others their age. Just because they have the power doesn't mean jack shit if they don't know how to work as a team. We have no idea who they will be teamed up with, so they need to learn how to work with others they may not like, he replied, smiling a sadistic smile. So what do you want them to do, he asked, looking from child to child. I want them to start today, said Hiro happily. Sarutobi just sighed, pulled out a piece of paper, wrote something down, and handed it to Naruto. Hand that in to the Chunin teacher at the academy, and you will be enrolled, said Sarutobi as he turned back to his paperwork. Thanks, Sarutobi. Come on, Hina-chan, Harumi-chan, let's get to class, said Naruto as he disappeared in a flash of shadows, Hinata and Harumi following close behind. What the hell was that? Asked Sarutobi, scared shitless. That was the Kuroshichi. It's a special technique I developed during my time in hell. It's kind of like the Hiraishin Naruto's father invented, except even more powerful. It works twice as fast, and you don't need the kunai as a medium. All you need is for there to be darkness, and you can go anywhere in the world, in half an instant, said Hiro with a shit-eating grin. You made that kid as powerful as you could, didn't you? Asked Sarutobi, deadpanning. Nope, if I wanted to do that we would still be out there, and we would only return when he could beat the Yonbi single-handed. Which by my estimations would only take him about another 2 years of my boot camp hell, said Hiro happily. I'm way too old for this shit, said Sarutobi as he pulled out a bottle of sake and chugged half of it in one go. Academy. Naruto arrived in front of the building with a grin on his face. Hinata and Harumi were close behind, smiling just as widely. Okay girls, how shall we make our entrance? Asked Naruto with a wicked smirk. Oh, I got it, we could, said Harumi as she began explaining her plan. Naruto and Hinata got evil grins on their faces when she was done. Irika's classroom. Shut the hell up, yelled a man with a scar across his nose. He used a jutsu he invented himself for controlling unruly kids and arrogantly dubbed it the Demon Head Jutsu. Just as he was about to speak again, the doors blew inward and off their hinges. Striding in like he owned the place was a kid maybe 8 years old, wearing a purple fuzzy coat, fedora hat with a yellow feather on it, and a large number of chains hanging on his neck. On each arm was a girl of roughly the same age, moving their hips as they walked in a way that was far too mature. Yo, what's up? Ain't any of Yo crackers ever seen a pimp beefo, yelled the boy in the middle, showing he had several gold teeth. Who the hell are you? Asked a black-haired boy with a duck-ass haircut. Me? Yo, damn, I'm Yo new homie, and these are my bitches, so no touchin' unless Yo want yo feel my boot up, Yo, yelled the boy again. Do you have a note from the Hokage? Asked Irika, who was rather disturbed by the whole scene before him. Yeah, here it is, fresh from the older himself, said Naruto, reverting back to his regular self in an instant. It made everyone do a double take. 1 minute he looked ridiculous, and the next he looks like a professional shinobi. You shouldn't say such things about the Hokage. He is the one that keeps us all safe, and he is the leader of the village, said Irika disapprovingly of the language and insult. That old man is weak compared to my Aniki. Besides, he is supposed to keep us safe, but that doesn't necessarily mean he will. Now let us begin the class. I want to get these 4 years over with so I can get out of here, said Naruto as his 2 girls giggled. Fine, just take your seat, said Irika, trailing off, seeing all 3 sitting in the same seat, one girl sitting comfortably on one leg. This will be a long 4 years, thought Irika sadly. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to support and follow the King of the Fallen for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. If you like to hear adult version of this and other stories, I'll give you link of my Patreon. See you in the next video. Goodbye.